How the sufficiency economy theory is applied. This lesson is aimed at the learners to know how to apply the sufficiency economy theory, firstly, in a personal level, then into agriculture, business, government, and civil service sectors. The sufficiency economy is a philosophy which indicates how all people should conduct themselves from an individual to families, to communities, and to the government level. It is for the government to manage the country in the middle way, especially for economic development, so that our country could go along in the globalization trend. This is not limited to only the people in agricultural sectors. Instead, it is for everyone, no matter they are urban or rural areas people. The consideration is that the implementation must match each profession. Sufficiency economy theory for an individual. The sufficiency economy theory for an individual is when one can comfortably conduct his or her life according to his own conditions. What's important here is that one does not let oneself float along the materialism trend. He should not imprison himself with anything. In conclusion, one should hold his life in a middle way and be a self-dependent. In order to be a self-dependent, one should hold on to moderate principles to make them consistent with the sufficiency economy theory. Here, there are 5 principles to follow. 1. Moderate mind. One should be able to rely on oneself, should be a good-hearted person, considerate, compromise, and care about the public's benefit. 2. Moderate society. People should help each other to build up a strong community. They should learn how to glue together. More importantly, they should have a learning process which originates from a strong and firm base. 3. Moderate environment and surroundings. One should wisely know how to thoroughly manage their environment to gain the maximum benefit while sustaining it as much as possible. What's important here is to use local resources to develop the country step by step. 4. Moderate technologies. One should know how to use technologies in an appropriate way and in accordance with one's needs. Technologies should be developed from folks' wisdom so that it harmoniously benefits our own communities. 5. Moderate economic. One should increase his income while reduce his spending. He should conduct his life in a reasonable behavior and according to his financial situation. Sufficiency economy theory in agriculture sector. In 1992, His Majesty has searched for procedures to help people in the agricultural sector. In that year, at Wat Mongkol Chai Patana Temple in the central region of Saraburi province, he has resolved a new theory. This theory is to be used as an example for agriculturists how they should manage their land and water resources. The theory divides one proportion of land into 30, 30, 30, and 10. The first 30 is for paddy field, the second for field crop, the third for living quarters, and the last 10 for animals farming. His Majesty, wishing the people in agricultural sectors, which is the majority population of the country, be in a strong stand, has added up ideas all the time, so that his people can produce more product for commercial purposes. He has given a new theory called the New Theory of 3 Steps. Step 1. An important principle for this step is for agriculturists to firstly be able to support themselves on their economic scale. A family should be able to produce enough rice for themselves to consume in 1 year. According to the theory, if a family produces approximately 5 rice, which equals to 8,000 square meters of rice per year, they would be able to live by it. But 1 rice requires 1,000 cubic meters of water, so 5 rice requires 5,000 cubic meters of water, and each 15 rice plot of land is divided into 5 rice of paddy field and 5 rice of field crop, so that means there must be 10,000 cubic meters of water provided each year. Each plot of land could be divided according to the following formulation. 5 rice of paddy field and 5 rice of field crop require a 4-meter deep times 3 rice pond, which contains about 19,000 cubic meters of water. The living quarters and space for other purposes take about 2 rice. In all, this is approximately 15 rice. But the most troubled matter is water. A farm pond could receive water fully only once a year. When it comes to a no-rain season, water in the pond evaporates about a centimeter per day, and when calculated by 300 days, it would mean the water level is about 3 meters lessened per year. Thus, agriculturists must gain more water from outside resources. Another serious problem is the investment cost, which is rather high that farmers should gain help from outside, such as from the government sectors, foundations, and private sectors, but the process fee must not be costly for them. Step 2. After agriculturists understand the process, the next move is for them to group together, maybe in a form of cooperative, to do the following. 1. Production, such as seedlings, soil preparation, and irrigation. 2. Marketing, such as sun-dried space, a barn, a holler, and product selling. 3. Living conditions, such as food, clothes, shelter, and medicine. 4. Welfare, such as public health care and loans. 5. Education, such as scholarships. 6. Social life and religion. All these must gain cooperation from government and private sectors foundations. Step 3. Coordinate with funds and energy sources such as banks and gasoline companies to set up and manage a mill or cooperative shops to help stimulate investment and life development. Both agriculturists and banks will benefit from this cooperation as follows. 1. Agriculturists could sell their products at a high price because the price is not forced down, while banks and companies could purchase them at a low price because they could do the purchasing directly from farmers, then mill by themselves. 2. Agriculturists will be able to purchase low-priced consumer products because the cooperative shop would sell them at a wholesale price. Meanwhile, banks and companies could decentralize their personnel. To apply sufficiency economy in the business sectors. To apply the sufficiency economy theory in the business sectors, one must take into consideration that the middle way is its principle. This means to live reasonably or moderately and take a role in helping his country. His Majesty has bestowed a royal speech about the subject on May 30th, 2001 as follows. To live moderately does not mean that your life will not get progress. Rather, it will develop reasonably. If you move up the hill too fast, you might get a heart attack and fall off. And if you fall off the hill alone, it might not matter. But if you fall on others and make them fall too, that will be a problem. In managing balance and sufficiency, one has to start with the following goals. 1. Be able to administer one's business in a way that it would grow up inconsistent with the outside world and not expand more than the ability one has. This means it has to be productive or marketing effective, which means one can keep up with changes or has to be cautious with the world's evolution. 2. One must seek knowledge and be tough or be more energetic in working by updating oneself with new technologies and learn how to apply the technology so that production is more benefited. This is called production efficiency. 3. The quality of life, both personal and works, must be targeted. This means one must wisely know how to reasonably spend so they can live a happy and valued life. They would learn how to live happily, both morally and physically, along with being economized.